Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight.
Just get paid. I want to play. The vibes is right. I wanna hug up tight. No time to waste. I wanna work my ways. So come on up, babes. Give me a taste. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love him. I wanna rub and kiss him. I wanna rub and jam him. I wanna rub and rub him. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Mr. Watts, he's armed himself shots. Shots, watch it, tear gas. light rounds also, I can see that.
But since my cousin there, no, you come up the East Coast.
You listen to me.
Right? No, you come up to the East Coast.
You listen to me now.
You gotta listen to me too, man.
I am listening to
Right?
you.
Now, I see you on the East Coast. The day when they get a protest of them, the next day, that's when you see one bigger heads come up for talk to my family. Right? And that's bad. If we didn't do a protest, that we want to see nobody for justice. You see? I'm not holding back nothing. I'm not holding back nothing. I just need justice for my family.
I get visitors all of a sudden. All of a sudden, all the visitors. This is Joker. Who is that Joker? That piece of plum. They know who to deal with, you know.
All right, good evening. Welcome to Straight Up. It's 7 minutes after 9 o'clock. Beautiful Georgetown, Guyana, and 107.1 FM. My name is Mark Benchap. Thank you for sharing the link. Let's get ready to rock and roll. It's Friday. They usually say, thank God it's Friday. Just call your friends, let them know that we're on, and there is nothing else that's on. You guys should tune into us right now. Spread the word. As we deal with serious, and I really do mean serious matters. Now let's get straight to Freedom House. As reports coming out of there, they have serious infighting. But I'm not sure whether it's a gun battle. I don't know, but what I do know is that they have serious infighting. They have the Irfaan faction, they have the Jagdeo's faction, they have the Jaganites, and it seemed to be a three-way fight. They're just fighting for power, fighting as to who should get contracts, fighting as to whose friends should get whatever. And it's horrible. I'm not sure. If you guys hear some gunshots across or things sounding like gunshots somewhere in the vicinity of Freedom House and so forth, just understand what it's about, understand where it's coming from, and just don't be surprised at all. They have serious infighting in the PPPC regime, serious infighting. I'm not going to say pray for them, but as Anil Nandalal once said, wakam sadu. Wakam sadu. In other words, however they want to battle each other, it is perfectly fine. In fact, if they want to battle each other publicly, I will certainly give them free mileage right here on 107.1 FM. I will cover it free for them. In fact, I will go live. I will even fly into Guyana. I will broadcast right there in front of Freedom House to show you guys this battle, this serious infighting that is going on right now in the PPPC. Whatever happens by tomorrow, it's Saturday. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to survive out of that fighting. I don't know who is going to win, but they do have a three-way battle for leadership, battle for power, battle for their friends getting contracts. Some of them are upset that who's getting more contract than the other. And I tell you what, it is horrible. They are also fighting about who should be in photographs, who shouldn't be in photographs. Oh gosh, you guys just don't want to see exactly what is happening. All is not well at all. Look, and some of you might be asking, where is the evidence? I know all of you wouldn't be asking that, but some of you will. Now, before I get into this whole big fighting that's going on right now at Freedom House, I noticed there's a Betsy Freeze. Betsy Freeze is saying Mark, they are interfering with your program. Betsy, calm down. You're shouting out my name, Mark. I'm on the show. I can't answer you unless you want me to stop for a moment, and I'll stop the show for a moment. Yes, Betsy. You just called me. Yes, Betsy. I'm on the show. Who? I mean, people, can't you guys hear me? Are you speaking for yourself? Are you speaking for others? Can you guys hear me? Other than Betsy, who can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? And Betsy, if you can't hear me, I'm sure that you can adjust your phone. People are hearing me loud and clear, and everybody's hearing me loud and clear except Betsy. Betsy, if it's in and out, it's not my fault. Please, it's probably you. Everybody else is hearing loud and clear. Thank you, Betsy. Okay, so don't scream out my name, Mark. Right, I can't hear you. I wish I can, but I just can't. So if you're not hearing me, don't shout out my name in the comment section. Just fix your device. All right, Betsy, no disrespect at all. You know you're an ardent supporter. You're here, you listen. But if you're just not hearing, if it's in and out, I just can't do anything about that. But let me continue with the program, Betsy and others. But thank you all, though. Thank you, Betsy. No disrespect there at all. But it's kind of like an interruption and a distraction. Okay, so let's get back to this big in-house fighting that's happening. They're fighting. They're fighting for power. They're fighting for everything. And this is the first time I'll tell you guys that I'll pray for the PPP. These guys, we've got to pray for them. And here why we got to pray for them. Pray so that they can battle each other. We want them to battle each other. We want them to fight amongst themselves. We want them to pick up cane stave and pick up branches and just beat each other. Then let them do that. I don't have a problem with that, mind you, right? And I know many of you, or most of you, or maybe all of you, wouldn't have a problem with that either. You know what I mean? Let them battle. Let them fight, Mati. You know what I mean? Let them fight, Mati. Let them do it. It's fine. We are definitely not going to lose any sleep over that, regardless of what they do. They fight, Mati, whatever it is. We are not going to lose sleep over that at all. And I don't know if it's confusion, but it's karma, really. And it's basically it's what happens when corrupt people get together. They always watch who is thieving what, who is getting more, whose friends are getting contracts, and who can't and who shouldn't. And here is the evidence. So let me give you guys the evidence. It's always good to sit down and analyze these guys carefully. And again, we don't move very wild here at all. We analyze things from a political standpoint, and we try to be ahead of these political Mickey Mouse that's in Guyana. Specifically these guys, and that's why we're beating them in every game. We're beating them in the PR. We're beating them on social media. We're beating them all over. They're getting licks. All over, they're getting licks, mind you. And so they can't take it. They just can't take it. It's just too much for them. And they're sitting and they're asking themselves, how come they have access to billions of dollars? And then those of us who are on social media, and in this respect, on 107.1 FM, and I have no apologies, 107.1 FM is pro-opposition. There's nothing to be afraid in saying that, because I'm just not afraid to say that. We're pro-opposition. That's it. And it's our democratic right to be pro whatever we want to be pro. But here's the evidence, mind you. You usually see Tanti Moral. That is Muhammed Irfaan Ali. Muhammed Irfaan Ali, also known as Baby King Kong. He's usually busy, he's mouthing off, he's all over the place, he's every single thing he's get. A couple days, let's see, the entire week. Have you seen him? Have you heard much from him? Is he busy? Is he talkative? No, he's not busy. He's not talkative. Jagdeo is not busy. Jagdeo is not busy. He's not talkative. Anil is not busy. He's not talkative. The others are not busy. They're not talkative. And this is the evidence. As I sit down and I analyze these guys, these things, let us say that based on that, they're very, very quiet. And it shows indeed that they're fighting amongst each other. Possibly, I don't know, fist fighting, I don't know, but whatever it is. I want you guys, before we move on with tonight's program, in terms of offer a prayer for these folks. They need our prayer, especially at a time like this. And if you clasp your hands and we pray, there's nothing wrong with that. The Bible, I think there are certain parts in the Bible that says, pray for your enemies. And tonight, we will do just that. Father, we pray that these two demonic political forces continue to fight amongst each other. Let them continue to fight each other. Let them chop each other up. Let them do whatever they got to do with each other. Let them knock out each other. Let them block out each other. Let them bust up each other's head. Let them do everything, every single thing. Yes, we pray. We pray that they, whatever it is they want to do each other. And we pray all of this. And everybody say amen. They can't say that we are wicked on this show. They can't say that we don't pray for them. They can't say we don't do that. We actually do that. So let them fight. Let them fight. Let them fight indeed. All right, what else is happening? Let them fight. Thank you. I see a lot of you guys are saying amen, right? Let them fight. We're not bothered about that. We're not concerned. All we know is that they have done a lot of wrong things to Guyanese. They've done a lot of wrong things to even their own supporters. And so let them draw the swords. Let them pull guns on each other. Let them fight. They can't say that I'm promoting violence on this show because, they're quick to say that. I just prayed for them. So they can't say that I'm promoting violence. But if they, amongst themselves, are promoting violence, then let them fight. I can't stop them. I don't want to stop them. Let them fight. Right, Rhonda Lane? Good evening. Munishwar, I know you were the first to say amen to that, right? Let them fight. I don't know. Good evening again to all of you guys. Lynette Nelson, I see what you're doing there. Let them fight. What else we can talk about this evening? I'll get back to this young lady. Some of you may ask, why is it that I'm getting back to this young lady? This is dangerous, and we've got to stop it. And those of us who have a platform should be speaking out more about this, because it is wrong. It is wrong because this woman and others do not deserve this sort of frivolous charge of, the frivolous charge of acts of terrorism. Somebody should challenge this. Somebody should take it to the High Court. Somebody should block the magistrate from hearing this charge, because this charge is definitely bad in law. It is so bad that not even the magistrate who put this woman on bail and others on bail should have been allowed to do that. You know what it is doing to this woman and others who have gone out there to stand up for their democratic rights, to protest against a wicked regime, a demonic regime, a corrupt regime, a criminal regime, an apartheid regime, an illegal regime. And what she got? She got a wanted bulletin. She got a charge of acts of terrorism. What is the evidence? Where is the evidence of acts of terrorism? For protesting? For standing up for her rights against this wicked, racist PPP regime? We've got to act on this here, because this is dangerous grounds. It's treading on dangerous grounds. This is wrong. And the PPP regime is using the police force to carry out its dirty political biddings. And it has got to stop. Those senior officers of the Guyana police force who are partaking in this blatant anti-democratic policy on behalf of the PPP regime have got to stop. There's got to be a campaign against these senior officers who are partaking in this sort of illegality. It has got to stop. And that is why our energy should be spent on writing relevant international agencies in a very strategic way, not while, dotish, and always telegraphing your shots. Do it quietly. We've got to do something to stand up for the rights of these people. These are citizens of Guyana. These people are entitled to their constitutional right. Freedom of expression, which is being denied to them. Freedom to assemble, which is being denied to them. Others seem to have that right to do and say whatever they want without any sort of victimization. But because of this woman and the texture of her hair and the possibility of her being part and parcel of the PNC or maybe another opposition party, she is being targeted and she's being persecuted along with others. It has got to stop. And the only agenda of the wicked, demonic PPP regime, the installed PPP regime, is to drive fear. That is their only agenda. People must stand up and people must defend their constitutional rights by every constitutional means necessary. They cannot sit down and take this impasse. I'm not going to use the term enough is enough, but people must stand up for their rights. It is something that we have been saying for a while, and it is something that we will continue to say, regardless of how the PPP feels. We on this radio station, we are not afraid, or neither are we concerned about how the PPP feels. We are not concerned about being politically correct in order to pacify the PPP. We don't give a damn about the PPP regime. We just don't give a damn. We believe that it's an illegal regime that is trampling on the rights of the people of Guyana. And we've got to speak out about that. So whomever this young lady is, Robin Nadetta Simon, just so you know and others know that we are with you. And we will stand up and we will fight through the court, through constitutional means, to ensure that you and others are no longer persecuted by this wicked, demonic regime. It has got to stop, one way or the other. Speaking of persecution, let us get to these three individuals. Almost 3 years ago, we were told that these folks have done something really bad, that they wanted to grab the elections. They wanted to all manner of things, and that's coming from the PPPC, that's notorious in rigging elections, stealing elections, thieving seats, and all these different things. And now let me just remind you guys about the 2011 elections, where the PPP stole a seat from Region 10. And Sam Hines squatted on that seat for almost or 5 years. He illegally sat on that seat for 5 years. They knew they didn't win that seat. And I say all of this to say that the PPPC has no moral authority, none whatsoever, no moral authority to talk about rigged elections, none whatsoever. They certainly have made the accusations against President Burnham, the late Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, without any evidence. But here in these modern times, there is tremendous amount of evidence pointing in the direction that the PPP are electoral riggers, fraudsters. But what they did, what have they done? They've decided now to target these individuals, to call them all manner of names, and to put their photographs out there depicting these individuals as bad people. And this is what they have done to their support base. They tried to sell these 3 people as though they're bad people, along with others as well at GCOM, that they're bad people. Let us take a look at what Llewellyn Field did. Mr. Llewellyn Field did the honorable thing by tabulating legal votes and sent it to the chairwoman or the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission. Legal votes, and he's being persecuted for that. And then they took these 3 individuals' names in what is called a puppet commission of inquiry. We haven't heard anything back about this puppet elections inquiry, commission of inquiry. We haven't heard anything back from those people where hundreds of millions of dollars is being spent for propaganda purpose. And so they drag these people's names in front of the commission of inquiry, the corrupt commission of inquiry, and talking about them without any evidence. Now, we don't want to hear from the commission of inquiry. We want them to take these 3 same persons. If they're saying that these folks did something so wrong and that they have tampered with the 2020 elections, if the PPPC, the installed PPPC, if they have evidence against these people, then let it be brought before the court. Not before a kangaroo commission of inquiry, because a kangaroo commission of inquiry will obviously have a kangaroo result. And because the kangaroos in the PPP want a kangaroo result, hence their reason for a kangaroo commission of inquiry, where they are specifically targeting these people. And now here's why they're targeting these people. They had this thing all set. Unfortunately, the coalition folks were fast asleep, and they didn't realize what was coming their way. But the corruption was set, that these PPP guys, the very things that they did in the other regions, as in Region 6, we heard about the returning officer and the deputy returning officer. We heard about serious allegations. In Region 3, the returning officer, a guy by the name of Jagdeo, whether he's related to Barrett, I don't know. We've heard about the controversy. The same chain of events happened in almost all the other regions. And they accepted that. They accepted the results. They accepted the format. They accepted everything. But here is where they were focusing on Region 4. They were focusing at the headquarters because they had this thing all planned out, that this is how it's going to happen. That if they start right here, this is GCOM's building. If they start crying foul, they stand up and they cry foul right here, because that's where the attention would be, and including some members of the diplomatic community who were there. Some of them were barging in the elections, the the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission's office. Nowhere else in the world these things happen, right? Only in Guyana. And I say this because the results were already fixed. So in order to let it look as though these guys, and now I'm not going to put my head on the block for these guys in the coalition, mind you. I'm not, because I don't really know what transpired. All I'm saying to you guys now is based on how I'm analyzing this whole situation. It appears as though that the PPP actually rigged the elections and not the coalition guys. It doesn't mean that the coalition guys, some of them may not have tried a little. So it's elections. It's elections. You can't tell me everybody's hands clean, right? Even in the US, we know Trump tried eating. We know Trump didn't get through. We know if Trump had his way, he would have. There would not have been any elections. There would have been a one America, just like there is one Guyana under this crazy guy, Irfaan Muhammed, Irfaan, right? And so because this whole 2020 March elections in Guyana was already cooked up, they already knew what the results and what they were going to do. So the coalition guys got caught with their pants down because a lot of them were too busy fighting each other. Who going to speak on the final night of elections? Who going this? Who going that? And they spent almost 45 minutes with shared notishness at the final night elections. Instead of talking directly to people, Vola Lawrence had some religious song howling, but Volda, nobody wants to go to a final night rally for 45 goddamn minutes and hearing some religious thing, somebody praising themselves, howling about Volda. But it is what it is, right? Now let's get back to on this day here, where the PPP rigged the elections. They realized that if they start to howl out and bawl out foul, that it's going to stick on the coalition. And the time that they started bawling out with their friends in the diplomatic community and so forth, the die was already there. And then they already painted the coalition as though they rigged the elections. And then you get Mike Pompeo jumped in and hollering, but sanctions and all these different things. And then when they started hollering sanctions, GCOM chair got afraid. She was afraid. GCOM chair, the chairman of GCOM got so afraid. She got so afraid that she actually said, she told me that she's afraid that they will revoke her visa. She actually said that. And that is how these people operated. So under duress, under fear, she buckled and she handed the elections to people that she claimed she hated. Now, I haven't forgotten you guys. I haven't forgotten that story, right? But she buckled. She said she buckled. If she's watching Good Night, Claudette, you said you buckled, right? And so they felt that that is where they got them. Then the coalition folks who were on social media, they went into hiding. Nobody wanted to talk. So there's only one person left talking, right? Because nobody else wanted to talk. And that is how Mike Pompeo and these guys had the coalition. It's a gangster move. And then the same Mike Pompeo, the same karma, don't underestimate karma, The same thing he tried in Guyana and succeeded. They attempted that in the US, but they didn't succeed. Here is this hypocrisy coming from Mike Pompeo. Listen to him carefully. But that's not what he wanted in Guyana, because he threatened those people in the coalition. He threatened them, and they buckled. But this is what he wanted in the U.S.
Mr. Secretary.
Hi.
Is the State Department currently preparing to engage with the Biden transition team? And if not, at what point does a delay hamper a smooth transition or pose a risk to national security?
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. All right, we're ready. The world is watching what's taking place here. We're going to count all the votes. When the process is complete, there'll be electors selected. There's a process. The Constitution lays it out pretty clearly. The world should have every confidence that the transition necessary to make sure that the State Department is functional today, successful today, and successful with the president who's in office on January 20th, a minute afternoon, will also be successful. I went through a transition on the front, and I've been on the other side of this. I'm very confident that we will do all the things that are necessary to make sure that the government, the United States government, will continue to perform its national security function as we go forward.
So you believe there's widespread voter fraud, that the reports that we're getting from Pennsylvania, from Michigan, showing vote totals in massive leads or significant leads with 99% reporting are going to be overturned, and that the United States failed to conduct a fraudulent free election?
Rich, I'm the Secretary of State. I'm getting calls from all across the world. These people are watching our election. They understand that we have a legal process. They understand that this takes time. Right? It took us 37 plus days in an election back in 2000. We conducted a successful transition then. I'm very confident that we will count, and we must count every legal vote. We must make sure that any vote that wasn't lawful ought not be counted. That dilutes your vote if it's done improperly. Got to get that right. When we get it right, we'll get it right. We're in good shape.
Should foreign leaders not be calling
We're in good shape.
President-elect Biden?
Who was next?
Count all the votes. All of the legal votes. We'll get it right. There's a process. There's a legal process. But in Guyana, he didn't say that because they don't believe that there was a legal process in Guyana. But judges were threatened. I know judges were afraid. And I know judges made decisions as a result of that threat of being sanctioned. So judges in Guyana, the judiciary in Guyana, instead of making independent decisions, they operated under duress. GCOM chair operated under duress, was threatened, and so forth. And so the same thing, the things that Mike Pompeo and others didn't want for Guyana is the same thing he was bawling out for. But note the difference. Every legal vote should be counted. But when Lowenfield presented every legal vote and showed that the coalition won the March 20th general and regional elections, they didn't want to accept that. They said, no, put all of the votes, including that Claudette Singh who switched her tongue, switched her mouth to say that, no, let all the votes, let them take it and let them file an elections petition. Claudette Singh said, and they have a good case, Mark. They have a good case. Let them take it to the... So suddenly they have a good case. So how then can they be an elections agency where they allow fraudulent votes to be counted, fraudulent votes to be tabulated, and then add all of that and hand it to the so-called people who lost the elections as a result of those fraudulent votes, and then say, man, let the courts deal with it. Mike Pompeo said that was Al Gore, and who was it? George Bush, right? 37 days it took for that election's results to be. 37 days, all because of in Florida. It went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And guess what? They dealt with it expeditiously. But it's going on 3 years now. We can't have that dealt with in Guyana. We just can't. And then you ask yourselves the question, why is it that these two guys, Jagdeo and Muhammed, you guys repeat after me, Muhammed. His name is Muhammed, but he doesn't want people to know that he is Muhammed, Irfaan, right? They are afraid of the elections petitions. Every opportunity they get to fight it, they fight it, they block it, they don't want it to be heard. They look at some sort of frivolous technicality of some date when it was filed, and then they had their people in the judiciary to follow along with their stupidity over some technicality. But every single thing they challenge, everything they challenge. And when they don't get their way on certain things, guess what? They cry foul. But let's touch on the SOPs, right? Because these guys in the opposition, they forget about these things. They don't remind you guys about these things. The media out there in Guyana, they don't remind you guys about these things. We are going to remind you guys about these things. 61 dead voters, 4,864 absent voters, 150 stuffed ballot boxes, 47 ballot boxes without documents, 1,278 oaths of identity. You remember the returning officer, a guy by the name of Adams, right? Or whatever it is, his name is, out in Region 1. It took him over 2 months before he presented to GCOM the documents for the elections. And when he presented those documents, pages were missing, all manner of things happened, questionable things. And then you're saying that this regime is a democratically elected regime? Look, this one here with some fake name. Look, this one here. Look, this Lagu Bagu with some fake name, but he named Oren Singh. Oren Singh? You kidding me? Oren? You couldn't find a different name, but oh man, Oren? Oren Singh. Anyways, Oren. Could be one of them chaps over at the office of the president blogging, one of them Duns bloggers. You can look at all the caps too. Oren Singh. But anyways, here what this trench crapper is saying. Why APNU, AFC, PNC didn't show the Guyanese people their SOPs? Oh, Oren. Oh, Oren. Oren. Get out of here, man. Just y'all get Oren out of here. Quick. Because Oren ain't making no sense. You wasting me time. 3 years now. 3 years now the PPP got the installed PPP regime. 3 years now they got to show their SOPs. And them ain't showing nothing. They're afraid to show their SOPs. They're afraid to now let me Oren done gone. He done gone in the trench. We don't have time with him. Now, if they, according to Oren, right? If according to Oren, yeah, sorry about that. If according to Oren, sorry guys, I didn't mean to laugh, but that one caught me. Oren. Sorry guys, I mean sometimes you gotta Oren. Irfaan or Jagdeo couldn't come up with no other name, but Oren is probably Irfaan blogging with those bold caps, right? Anyways, if they were serious about exposing the coalition, if they were serious, they have in their possession, the PPP that is, they have all of the SOPs. And now, let us say, if now the coalition didn't show their SOPs, fair enough, they didn't show their SOPs. It is not that they were unwilling to show their SOPs, but they couldn't. They were kicked out of office. They were kicked out. They didn't lose the elections. They were kicked out. And the tech kick out. The tech kick out. We got to accept that, right? Good. Because of threats all across. Threats of sanctions, threats of all manner of things. But look, the document, a thick documents with all the irregularities. And that is why I want, right? That is why I want. Let me show you, I'm bluffing y'all, look. General and regional elections, national recount, observe the irregularities and so forth. A thick document that should be published to prove to the world that the PPP see, and I want these PPP guys who watching and they like get vexed and all, okay? I want them to know that the PPP rigged the elections, that these two Lagu Bagus, Lagu and Bagu, they rigged the elections. Their party, Lagu and Bagu, rigged the elections. So I don't want them to come to me and tell me no Jim Cockbring Ramgood story about elections. I don't want them to come and tell me that APNU, AFC rig elections and all them nonsense that. 3 years almost. If you have the evidence, expose these guys in the coalition. If you expose them and you show me, you show us the evidence, then the guys in the coalition and I will have problems, serious problems. But for now, I can't call these guys in the coalition riggers. I can't say that they have rigged elections. I can't accept that they have rigged elections because the PPP and their vagabonds and their friends, all because of oil deals and the $1 billion of oil money and so forth and revenues that they want the oil. So because the PPP say, because a thing like Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali, Muhammed, sorry, we've got to pronounce his name correctly, Muhammed. Irfaan Ali say to us, that the coalition rigged the elections. They want us to say, oh yes, not me. And I'm sure majority of our listeners wouldn't fall for that because these two, Nimaka and Ram, do not have any moral authority to call people riggers or to talk about fraud or any corruption. These two don't have it. They don't have no moral authority, none whatsoever, to speak of that. And so when they speak of it, they expect people to believe, they expect people to follow them, and it's believable. It's if, again, I say this, if I know I'm in power and my political opponent have done something wrong, as in the form of rigging elections, I have the SOPs. I am going to find ways and means to expose the SOPs. If the court isn't, they control the court, but they don't want the court to open up the SOPs and show you guys, including their own supporters. They don't want you guys to know that. Because if they open up it, guess what's going to happen? Bang, zoom, as Ralph from the Honeymooners would say. Right, Ruth? I know we have a listener named Ruth. She probably glued to the Honeymooners back in the days, right? Ralph and those guys and Alice would say, Alice, bang, zoom, right? So in this case, if they were to open up the SOPs, guess what? Bang, zoom. We will all, Alice and all of us, would see that the PPP rigged the March 2020 general and regional elections. They rigged it. I am convinced that they rigged it. They rigged it, right? Now let's get back to these three. Forget about these. We'll leave those pakus up there for now, right? But Hope, where is Lemon? There we go. Let's get back to these people here. So they jumped as quickly as possible to accuse these individuals. And in my mind, I am very convinced, but I ain't gonna put my head on the block, but I am convinced that these folks are innocent. These folks are innocent. Here is where now I will prove to you that these folks are innocent. Every time their case is called, the prosecutor or the persecutors, they're not ready. Almost 3 years now, you're telling me they're not ready to hear this case, these people's cases? If they had evidence against these people, guess what? They would have been presenting the evidence. But the fact that they do not have the evidence suggests to me, again, another piece of evidence that this is a situation where they ensure that they cook this whole thing up, that if they grab a couple of people, charge them for electoral fraud, whether there's evidence or not, and in this case, we're not seeing any evidence, it's going to make their case, the PPP, look stronger. Oh, yes, we got them. We got Lowenfield, we got Roxanne Myers, we got Mingo. We got them. And that's what they wanted to sell to the world, because this whole thing was already cooked up. It's the oil. They are all about the oil. Jagdeo likes oil. Naughty laugh, Mark. But it's all about the oil. They want the oil, the billions of dollars worth in oil. And that is why they are selling Guyana out. Guyana is up for sale. And the billions of dollars of oil that is being extracted and shipped out and all these things. And whilst the ordinary guy, he's got to pay for everything. Every time these guys from the oil company eat, y'all got to pay for them. If they buy toilet paper, y'all got to pay for them. If they cry, well, they're not. They're smiling, right? When they travel first class. But we got to sit down till at the back, hold on the tail of the plane. Pay a set of money, but we got to hold on to the tail of the plane. Some of we got to hold on on the wheel. Pay we little money and hold on on the wheel. While these guys, with our tax dollars and oil revenue, they're flying first class, them and the entire family, you know? And then when you pass next to them on first class, like them in one, like you can't even breathe next to them. And you're in your own country. You can't even breathe, you can't even sneeze next to them. They get vexed. That's just how it is. You know, that's just how it is. It is sad, but sorry, some messages coming through. It is sad, but that's just the way it is, right? Just thought that we bring that up for you. So I don't want the PPP guys to try to tell me or to sell to me that the coalition rigged any elections. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You know, just don't tell me that at all, that they rigged the elections. Show me the evidence. They have all these people they have before the court. They just, you know, these people, and that's why we need a better and a more energized and intensified campaign to talk about these people as well. It is unfair to them. It is unfair to their families that you stain these people in this manner without any evidence against them. Almost 3 years now. It's persecution. It's a human rights violation against these people. I am not convinced that they have done anything wrong because the PPP hasn't shown any evidence in court. They rushed, they what is it? Since over a year ago, they rushed and they showed some photographs that look, they have boxes upon boxes of SOPs delivered to the court. It's all fraud. It's a propaganda. Remember, Irfaan, how many 19 fraud charges against him? Of course, they rushed to the court in order for it not to be heard. They rushed to the court quickly. Oh, we can't have this heard. Pretending as though he's all innocent. So not because the DPP decided to null process it means that he is innocent. He was never given an opportunity. They rushed, they fought every single way in order for the case not to be heard. 19 fraud charges. So he never proved his innocence. And neither am I saying that he's guilty, but the fact that he rushed to the court so that to prevent the court from hearing it, to me, suggests some degree of guilt. Because if you're not guilty of something, why would you rush to the court? Oh, I don't want this to be here. I file an injunction and so forth. That's what they do. But yet they want to dictate to people about morality, about decency, about democracy. These people don't believe in democracy. A bunch of dictators. Penny dictators. That's what they are. Okay, what else we can talk about? I'm looking at some of your comments, right? What else we can talk about this evening? Trevor Ben. Heat London. Others they have charged. Heat London was the head of NISEL. They said that he gave away state property and all manner of things on the value price and whatever it is. No evidence. Trevor Ben, no evidence. What Trevor Ben did? Trevor Ben brought decency back to the Guyana Lands and Survey. Decency, respectability to that organization that was corrupt at every level prior to Trevor Ben taking over during the 26 years of the PPP rule. thousands upon thousands of acres of land were given out to their friends and cronies and families. Hundreds of acres of land given out to Irfaan Ali as well, their friends and their cronies. So they have no moral authority to talk about nonsense, but they rushed after these individuals to charge them. Trevor Benn, wrongfully charged. He's being persecuted. Every time he goes to court, they're not ready for the case because they have no evidence. 3+ years is an injustice. 3+ years is a violation of their human rights. 3+ years or almost 3 years and the matter cannot be heard. It keeps putting down and putting down and putting down. It tells a story, and that story doesn't look good at all. And that story is that these folks are being persecuted. A Trevor Benn, a Lowen Field, a Roxanne Myers, a Mingo, and all these people. But yet they have their folks. Some of these people are so shameless that they rush and come. And guess what? Look, some of them look this one named Captain. He can't even spell captain. He can't even spell captain. He kept no fitty good on his head, but he a captain. He a Captain Searam. A shark should jump out from the ocean and grab and kept him. He a Captain Searam. Hear what we know what's going on here, right? Hear what Captain Searam saying. Mingo, lingo, dingo with spreadsheet, right? What about Irfaan, Frado, Jago, Jackaho, and all these with rigged elections? Come on, Captain Searam. If you want to be a poet, be consistent. Mingo, in do not know, your prosecutor poor Mingo. Write these things, Captain, and learn to spell properly. Spell properly, but Captain. You're right, Captain. Hey, boy, I get shame, boy. I get shame. These guys don't have shame. Hey, boy, I get shame. Y'all coming to talk and can't even spell your own name properly. But Captain Searam, look, get out of here. Get out of here. But look, these guys got their own dictionary for real, right? But take a look at this here, though. During the PPP years, a lot of these PPP vagabonds benefited. State properties undervalued. You know, Brassington was head of Nissel. They almost sold that was it, guest house, Watuka guest house in Linden. It was up for sale. They got caught with their pants down and it was exposed. Then there's a building opposite the U.S. Embassy that was valued at almost $300 million. I think Jerry Gavaya got it next to nothing. Next to nothing. Well, of course, he claimed that he got a deal, but they gave out these properties to their friends and their cronies. Gave out to their friends and their cronies. And then some of them were charged. And then when they were charged, they were allowed to fly out back the country and they don't care. You see, the coalition did some dotishness too, with some of these guys. That is why these guys behaving so brazen today. Jagdeo slipped through the crack too, because these guys ain't easy. He was allowed to slip through the crack because people dealt with them too softly. Very, very softly. Well, of course, they with 26 years, they were able to corrupt the police force, corrupt the army, corrupt the prison service. Everybody, they just corrupt. Everybody who they can corrupt, they corrupt. Everyone. And that's the matter. That's exactly what has happened. But we cannot sleep on these issues. Somebody mentioned Duke Lodge, actually. Thank you so much. Duke Lodge. So they give away Guyana to their friends and their cronies. They give out hundreds of house lots to money launderers, drug lords, to build housing schemes and all these different things. But they're going after the ordinary man and woman and take back a piece of land beat up the people, bulldoze the land, and all these things. I hope when these guys in the opposition meeting with these foreign dignitaries that fly into Guyana, that they give them a document filled with human rights violations. And look at how they treat people. Look at how they treat people. This woman, a businesswoman, owned her land, ancestral land for all those years. They went in, they beat this woman up, dashed this woman in the mud, ill-treated her. These members of the Guyana police force, some of those hooligans acting on behalf of a corrupt regime. This is how they treat. This is how they treat women. All because she happens to be a black woman. They would dare not go and treat a woman of any other ethnicity in this manner. Even though we know most of them don't like women and they beat women, this is what they would do. This is what they do. And they feel they can get away with these sort of things. This could be anybody's sister, anybody's mother, anybody's friend, anybody's aunt, or so forth. But they feel that they could pick her up, break her property down, destroy her business, every single thing that she worked hard for, pick her up and dump her in the mud. Nobody went to her rescue. Some of them videoing, some of them even want to get mud up. Some of them in the opposition want to get mud up. But there's no way that I'm going to be there with suit and tie on or nothing on. I would have been there in the mud defending this woman. But none of them want to get mud up. None of them want their hand and their clothes get soiled up. So they just video and run out, tiptoe out of the mud. And this woman had to fight the battle all by herself against some demonic members of the Guyana police force who acted on behalf of a demonic regime. Po Guyana. Po Guyana. Somebody's asking, where is Sue? Good question. Where is Sue? We should be asking that question to Jagdeo, because he feels as though, you know, we see a crapple, we see a trench crapple, they can't take the pressure. Look this trench crapple. They're like girls, they can't take the pressure. They get very emotional, their bumps raise, and look how they behave. They can't take the pressure. The truth hurting them big time. Big time, the truth hurting them. Big time. There's a song by Houdini. The freak comes out at night. The freak comes out at night. Right? Those of you who know that by Houdini, we can change that song and say the crapple comes out at night. The crapple comes out at night. They can't take the truth. It hurts them. And a lot of the men, you see how they behave, their bumps raise, they get emotional. And watching this show for some of them is like drinking rum. They get high, they get drunk, they get buzzedy. They throw down themselves on the ground, they start winding up on each other, all because of this show. It's Friday night, right? 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshab. And so they get in buzzedy. And when they get buzzedy, must know we getting at them. We're getting under the skin. They can't take it. They can't take the pressure. Look at them. They can't take the pressure at all. They can't take it. You know, like that song, Lord, me can't take it no more. They can't take it. They're not real. They get all emotional. The bumps raise. I know what happened when the bumps raise, right? Then they complain. They want to call. Look, as we disconnect via the radio in Guyana, we can play this for those of you who have missed it. They feel they can call persons of African descent all manner of names, hungry belly, dog, all manner of things they can call. Lazy, oh, I've been like walker. You know how many folks that I know that are non-African folks, non-African Guyanese who lazy, who don't like walk. You know how many of them, some of them in one family are here. Oh, by G, when I like walk by G, when lazy, G, when I smoke dope. A man smoke dope all day, by. Go on the quarantine and hear those sort of things. Hey, I like walk by. Hey, my husband like on lungira by. A man like a long chat tree by. I like walk. So, you know, it is not one group of people who that label should be, you know, plastered on. Every single group has that sort of every single group. But they want to feel that black people now walk, you can't own nothing. Black people now own house. Black people again nothing. Black people are rob people. That's the propaganda they spread. Oh, but them not do nothing. They not rob nobody. They not sell drugs. They not do backtrack. You know how many of them sit on America today as a result of backtrack? Illegality? Backtrack? But they not do nothing wrong, by. Only persons of African descent, by. Them not do nothing wrong, by. I'll be pray for them, by. To me, Wamata, Chapita, to me, Wabinya. Right? Oh, or we can just say a Christian prayer too. Good evening to you guys, right? Or good evening to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah, right? All right. So, hey, guess what? I want to play something for you guys to show you so that you can get into the minds of how some of these lagu bagu think. Not all, mind you. I'm not painting everyone with the same brush. I'm not going to do that because they get some sellouts too, you know. But I'm not painting. I want you to listen to this trench grapple. And I don't know how true it is, but I'm told that this trench grapple is related to Irfaan Ali. I don't know how true it is, but let's get down. Hear what this trench grapple had to say. Cark your ears or leave if you don't want to hear them silly cussing from this Nimakaram, this Katahar, this Korhi, this Tedekabur. You know what I mean? Take a listen.
Good morning. See the madness where you guys are getting with fucking racialness and to know? Huh? Ranger, I gotta go fucking fight with. You understand? Go and fight with fucking Ranger. He been in there for 3 years. Then no confident motion is of the election. He's stretching for reach 5 years and still never want to give up. Go and fight with fucking Ranger. Are your mother's cunt one power you can't clean your fucking batty hole? Eh? Are you fucking black racial cunt in Guyana? Eh? Are you want fucking power? I ain't can't wipe your fucking bat. I ain't can't beat your fucking skin. Box on a fucking bat tongue. Because I not get a fucking right man for coming fucking box down. For settle your cunt. Every fucking day I talk your fucking racialness. Why don't you try your fucking self in the fucking ocean? Go and fight your fucking Ranger and Harman and knock them out on Ramjatan. Them are the one, the people vote for them. You know why the fucking people that vote for a fucking thief, man? You know PNC is a fucking thief. WPASC is a thief, man. It's a fucking bandit. I just want to work. I want thief and rob and kill and destroy. I not get a fucking right body for the fucking government should have called in the fucking US settle your squant properly. I play fucking mad again. I have black mother squant you. Eh? People got cause of your squant day and night. Eh? What do you think? Are you fucking powerful? Clean up. What I have to talk squant when I clean your fucking country. If I like a country, come out and work and clean your fucking country. Where the people government for do everything? Mr. Norton want fucking free money. You want to the fucking blank check for the man right. Where the blank check gone? Huh? Are your mother's cunt holding it?
If I buy a watch, I will tell you why. The man, imagine he must have want them mechanic straight up when you pass Sybil's restaurant till up yonder. He's the mechanic. The barefoot mechanic who always there underneath the car. Drunk, and we up all himself and thing. And them that people attack by, who give the man phone by? Hey, you lungira. Hey, you white mouth. Who give the man phone by? but yet them have feel that they can pick up phone and cuss people. I'm sure he renting a bed. He renting a bed in somebody's basement. But yet this man think that he could talk and cuss people of African descent because of what? What is the audacity of these? Oh, I mean, I can't big word by him. I'm sorry, my broke down a word of here, right? And these are the kind of folks that feel that they could talk anyhow to people. Anyhow to people. But I just play that to show you the mentality of some of these Ramgoat individuals, these Nimakaram, these Katahar, these Chamar. If he were, and we are going to trace him. You know, I've dealt with a couple of them who play that they're brave enough to inbox me. Let them inbox me. A couple of them in Queens, and I had to shut them up. Some of them might be watching now. I want them to try that and send that to me. Send it to me. If you get seed more than buy, send it to me. These guys are nuts, man. These guys are crazy. These guys are Looney Tunes. You know? But you know who get them like this, right? You know who got them like this? Take a listen.
Right across Ghana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
When they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essecubo and Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your communities because it means they've been squatting in power.
But you know, I just saw a comment where someone said that had it been the other way around, these Lagu and Bagu would have been crying foul. They would have gone after and saying, look at what is happening, and this is what persons of African descent are spreading, violence and racism and all these things. But when the table turned and these Lagu Bagus speak these sort of language, threatening and targeting and insulting persons of African descent, all of them remain quiet. Every single one of them remain quiet. Mark, he probably talked about Mark Phillips too, right? And a couple of the other Lungeras within the coalition. And that's the mentality. That's possibly the mentality of a Jagdeo when I hear Muhammed, Irfaan Ali, right? That's probably their mentality. And so what that Lungera just said, that guy who dropped out maybe the first day he attended, and I agree, that is what you call terrorism and racism. We don't preach that here, right? We don't. We are a peaceful set of people here on 107.1 FM, the 107.1 FM family. We are peaceful. We have a mixture of everyone listening to our show. A true representation of Guyana. One people, one nation, one destiny. That is what it's about. Not the one Guyana BS. Not the one Guyana crap. Not that. We're one people, one nation with one destiny. And we preach unity right here because we believe in a real Guyana, not a fictitious, one corrupt Guyana under this man. Well, sorry that I said under these guys. It's not. All right, we're looking at the time, guys. Well, I noticed that some officials, said Jason Smith, chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, they're in Guyana. They met with a few folks. They met with the opposition folks as well. The picture came out a little dark. Next time, get some good picture retector and take some nice photographs and so forth because, it's good. And I hope that they give them documents of all the atrocities and the persecution and so forth and have that sort of discussion with those visiting dignitaries and not just a handshake and a smile, a photo up, and then they're gone. It's got to be more to it and more to the discussion as well. Can't take a lot for granted because enough is enough. And so what else we can talk about before we go? What else we can talk about? The PPP, a bunch of pussycats. That's why they hand out guns to friends and cronies. In one house, you have like about 4 person get guns. Cat get guns, dog get guns, mama get gun, daddy get gun, picnic get guns. That's what they do. That's what they do. Because they're afraid. They don't like the police force, but they want to control those who they can control. They don't like the army, but they can control those who they want to control. But you know what? Every long rope has an end. Every single long rope has an end. Even the weak has an end. This is Weekend. My name is Mark Benshap. Look, Flatty. Flatty. Let me see what Flatty looks like. Flatty there with this Flatty man. Flatty says, stop lying, Benshap. Stop lying, Flatty. I can understand why they call you Flatty. Because if I see you in real life, I may call you Flat for truth by Flatty. So I now know why they call you Flatty. Flatty, I'll give you a chance. Tell me, what am I lying about? What am I lying about, Flatty? Flatty. What am I lying about? Tell me quickly before I go. Come on, Flatty. We already know why they call you Flatty, right? But what am I lying about? Tell me, Flatty, quickly before I go. Flatty can't come back and say nothing, The only thing Flatty probably got going for her is that she named right for truth. Let me take a look at she again. And, oh, no, Flatty. All right, Flatty, enough of that. You get 15 minutes of fame. You can't say exactly what I'm lying about. It goes to show that it's hurting them. They're getting hurt. Flatty, even Flatty and I'll get hurt. Flatty get hurt. But anyways, enough of Flatty. Girl named Flatty by. Somebody says give Flatty. Yeah, Flatty deserved this. She stand up next to one. We might as well give her another one. Flatty. Look back behind by. Nobody can call me Flatty, but we know why her name is Flatty. All right? We all know why her name is Flatty. But look, we deal with peace and love and harmony here, right? Before we go, Sue. We don't know where Sue is. Jagdeo. Sue is Jagdeo's biggest nightmare. We don't know if they killed Sue. We don't know. We don't know if Sue went back to China and hide away, or he disappeared, he died in some pan or whatever. We don't know what has happened to Sue. And Jagdeo seemed to be happy because there's no Sue. Sue is the evidence. If you get rid of the evidence, then what happens? Case flop. Sue, where are you?
Okay, well, maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you. Or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sue Jerome?
Sue? Oh, Sue.
Who, Sue? Oh, yes, you. Oh, Sue for real. Who, Sue? These guys are a bunch of jokers. But this guy sums it up for all of us. He actually sums it up for all of us. Crap, man.
Pressure boss pipe. Pressure boss pipe, boy.
Pressure bus pipe indeed. My name is Mark Benshap. Remember, as I started earlier, these guys are fighting amongst themselves. They might just bust up Matty head by now and tomorrow morning. deep and big division in the PPP. They're fighting amongst each other. Yes. Look, guys, have a great weekend. Whatever you do, just be safe. Whatever you do, just be safe. And remember that there's always hope. And let's keep hope alive. Whatever, if you're celebrating your birth anniversary, happy birthday to you, your wedding anniversary, whatever it is that you're celebrating, we are with you guys. And if you have maybe some sort of unfortunate situation in your life or in your family that you're experiencing, whether passing of someone, our condolences to you guys, and maybe our prayers. We read in the news that the policeman that was shot in Linden over some fighting or whatever, shot by a quote-unquote contractor who happens to be a relative, according to the news, that policeman succumbed. Our condolences to the family of the policeman, indeed. And to all of you, have a great weekend. Thanks for the support. Thank you all so much. God bless you.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Guyana really nice. Guyana, it's a nice place. Guyana really nice. Guyana, it's a nice place.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station.